Hi everyone, today I want to share a topic on things you need to know to bring diversity and inclusion to your game design and publishing strategies. A quick intro of myself, I'm Tiff Tang, based in Hong Kong. I'm a strategic partnership developer manager from Google Play, and my job is to work with game developers to grow their business on Play globally. To start with, I would like to share why we want to talk about the topic today. When we talk about diversity and inclusion, we're more or less thinking about opportunities in the workplace and sensitivities around certain cultural or geopolitical topics. However, we actually could consider this as an important mindset change and growth opportunity to make your game more acceptable, more inclusive, and more global. From what we have learned and seen from the past few years, more and more users become gamers globally. These new users are making the whole gamer group more and more diverse. This brings both opportunities and challenges to the game developer who are not very familiar with the topic. Here, I want to share some stats. From a gender perspective, based on the two research reports from the Newzoo and Nico, we're seeing that regardless if it's in the US, UK, or Asia, the ratio of female gamers is getting close to 50%. If you look at the stats of 2020, the growth rate of female gamers has far surpassed that of the male gamers. More importantly, the primary gaming devices of female is mobile, so they are the truly mobile-first group. Another thing I want to call out is some of the female gamers have their own unique way of playing games. So if you conduct deeper user research, you will find out more business opportunities on how to unlock them better. Then, let's talk about the data from the other dimensions. Firstly, from the racial point of view, based on the research of Qualts, in upcoming 10 years, 57% of US gamers between 6 and 29 will be coming from the minority groups. Then from the research of Nelson, we're seeing 12% of the adult gamers are LGBTQ+, and they're having bigger spending power than the rest of the users. The last data is from the Able Gamer charity. In the US, about 26% of users have a disability, but most of them still play games despite all the difficulties. Now we have seen the demographic-related data, we would like to remind you that diversity and inclusion is related to cultural differences too. I will share one example for your reference. When we talk about role-playing games, we usually consider the major user to be like 35 plus males. The fact is, the impression is true only for Japan, Korea, and Greater China users. In North America and in Europe, users below 35 usually contribute to 70% of the total local revenue, while female users from LATAM could contribute to 30% of the total local revenue. The third reason is related to conflicts and risks. For the past 2 years, we're seeing conflicts related to politics, geopolitics, genders, sexuality, and ethnicities. These are getting more and more intense. This type of real-life conflicts will largely impact what gamers think and feel in the gaming worlds. And as you can see, gender conflicts remain to be one of the most significant topics in the gaming industry. On the other hand, we are seeing more and more regulatory guidance and policies from the government and gaming platforms. We will encourage game developers to be extra careful on such topics. For example, try to avoid using eye-catching but non-compliant marketing materials and make sure your promotional materials are always family-friendly. Lastly, we want to call out building diversity and inclusion into a company value is a very important and great element for branding too. Gamers actually really care about the brand value of games they play. Google also provides a lot of support and courses to help more partners to learn about the importance of DEI and to be a part of this important topic. Now we have talked about the importance of DEI, I also want to share some practical tips to help you to get started. I will mainly cover 3 topics. Bring DEI into character design, gameplay design, and community building. Firstly, let's talk about character design. From the report of Newzoo, we could see half of the gamers think about diversity is important in the characters. About 44% of users avoided playing games that are not meant for them. Choosing and playing character in games is a way of self-expression for gamers. And we need to be extra careful in the design. Some key elements I want to call out is here. 1. Female body image. Try to avoid unrealistic, overly sexual design. 2. Do not let your unconscious bias ruin your character design. Do a research and run focus group to make sure your design is inclusive for diverse user groups. 3. If you have DIY character elements, please make sure you're including elements for the minority groups as well. Lastly, imperfection is an important factor for identities. Your story and characters will be much more compelling and profound in this way. Then let's talk about the game design. Firstly, we want to talk about inclusive game design. We usually divide users into core gamers and casual gamers. Both groups are seeking for different things while playing games, as you could see from the chart on the left. Core gamers enjoy a game loop built on flight or fight mode and follow the progression from easy to hard. While casual gamers play games to relax or get rid of boredom, they are looking for creation and connection in the core game loop. We would like to encourage game designers who want to appeal to a much broader audience to incorporate game elements that can satisfy both groups of users. The second point is much related to the first one, providing a more friendly learning curve for all users. I think this is a very important and frequently discussed topic for most of the game designers, so I will be brief here and call out some of the key learning points. 1. Let your user learn by playing. Provide them helpful and clear guidance to learn progressively. 2. Run qualitative and quantitative research to improve your onboarding experience continuously. A/B testing could always help a lot for your early day retentions. Lastly, please be encouraging during the whole onboarding journey so your user could feel confident about themselves and think they're good or getting better in the game. Accessibility is another big topic. As I have mentioned, a large portion of gamers have some type of impairment or disability. You could always serve them better if you design with accessibility solutions or elements. On the other hand, improving your game versatility could always provide a better user experience for all types of users, not just for those with disabilities. And please remember, when everybody plays, we all win. I recommend to visit g.co/accessibility to learn more about Google solutions as well. The next is about DI in localization. This is another important topic for game developers who want to be successful globally. From translation, localization to culturalization, you want to impress the potential international audience that you indeed want to create a game for them. I also want to call out 3 points here. First, please be aware there are feminine, masculine, neutral pronouns in a lot of languages. Either you could consider to use gender-neutral forms or use adaptive UI to provide gender-select formatting if your user have claimed their genders. 2. Please avoid using ableist and violent languages. You will offend user unintentionally. In addition, please avoid using unnecessarily graphically violent and harmful terms. Lastly, please bear in mind there are a lot of cultural, religious nuances you might not be aware of, especially geopolitical issues that are ever-changing. Always remember to run your reference checks and do the research for your localization results. The final topic is about community building. It is not new at all that there are still a lot of toxicities in the gaming communities these days. As you can see from the data here, gamers are experiencing different kinds of harassment and threats in the virtual world. It is important for you to facilitate an inclusive and friendly game community. Again, another big topic here. With the interest of time, I want to call out some best practice. The core job for you to run game community is to be present and be proactive to foster trust and safety in your community. You need a balance allowing the community autonomy to self-regulate and being present to intervene when necessary. We want to share more tips around this in upcoming Google Play blog posts as well. Diversity and inclusion is indeed a big topic. I could spend hours sharing with you tips and learnings from the developer we have worked with. So I want to summarize today's session with 3 action items for you. 1. Build DI in games. Remember, Google also provides a variety of great workshops that can help you to understand the topic. We have solutions and tools that can help you build diversity and inclusion into your games. 2. Build DI for gamers. Community matters. The majority of a gamer want to have a great time while playing, and you have a big role to play to make sure your community inclusive and friendly. 3. Build DI in gaming. Ensure that the right talents are present at a table. Hire people with a wide spectrum of backgrounds, experiences, point of views to bring more perspectives to your games. We also run various programs to help game companies to build DI into work culture. That's all for my session. Hopefully the tips are helpful and thanks for watching.